Welcome to the 6 Miles to Supper podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Cox, and I've lost over 80 pounds with intermittent fasting 6 days a week, eating whatever I wanted at my meals, taking a cheat day every Sunday, and walking 6 miles a day. And I'm here to help you on your weight loss journey. In this episode, I want to talk about thriving during the holidays. I almost said, surviving the holidays, but really, my whole goal with my weight loss journey was to learn how to enjoy myself when I was losing weight and, also during maintenance mode, which is for the rest of your life, so I wanted to learn how to really enjoy myself. And, right now the weather is getting colder. We're just starting into fall, and I know about myself, at least, that I love to bake. And certainly when the weather starts to turn cooler, that's when I get, the urge to just bake lots of things. And then we have the onslaught of holidays. First is Halloween, and then it goes on through Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year's. And then what can happen is you might start to kind of panic about the looming holidays because it's a hectic time, where it can be. And, when you're trying to lose weight, it can be this stressful thing because you're thinking, well, I don't want to fail at weight loss, but on the other hand, you want to enjoy life. And, again, I was always focused on figuring out how I could enjoy it. So I want to talk to you today about how I approach the holidays, because I like the way I do it. And so I'm hopeful that it will help you on your weight loss journey. So first of all, I would caution you that if right now you're thinking, well, basically, I'll just take a break on weight loss and I'll just pick it up in January, I would just urge you to rethink that and to realize that you can really enjoy the holidays and actually have a great time. And you can either, maintain during this time at least, or even continue to lose weight. Because if you just say no rules and kind of like go completely off the deep end, then you can gain, a good bit of weight. And then that's going to make next year even harder. But ultimately, it is up to you. That is a really important thing, I think, to understand and to really grab a hold of is you're in control of your life. You get to pick however you want to approach this. And, for me personally, I love Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I love all the goodies that go along with them. And I am ultimately about enjoying those times. And with intermittent fasting specifically, I feel like it works so well because, if you are doing intermittent fasting like I do it, it's just you don't eat for a certain amount of time. And then during your during your eating window, rather, you can eat whatever you want. On the actual day of any holiday, I take the day off, first of all. I just do. I just think, this is a holiday and I'm going to treat it as such. And that has always been helpful because it's nice to have the day off. During those holiday times, a lot of times you can still practice intermittent fasting alongside, whatever holiday season it is. Like, for example, Halloween is just one day. You can take Halloween completely off. And then, around Halloween, though, you're going to have all these, things lying around. And as long as you're practicing intermittent fasting, in my experience, you're really not going to gain weight, and you can probably continue to lose weight as long as you just stick with your rules of your fasting and eating windows. And same way with, Thanksgiving. Really, Thanksgiving is one day. And if you look at it in that way, that, okay, it's just one day, maybe it's 2 days if you've got a lot of different places to be or something, you can just take that day for what it is and not really worry about, how you're eating on that day, and then just go right back into your plan. But now I understand Christmas is, kind of a different animal. I feel like when it comes to Halloween, when it comes to Thanksgiving, it's kind of like those are just single days. But Christmas, it seems like December is just like this one long month of, lots of parties, lots of goodies lying around. And basically you have to kind of make a choice. And I think no matter what choice you make, it's fine. There's always a consequence for the choice. And empower yourself and realize, you get to be in control of your life. You get to decide. And I've done holidays all different ways, like especially December. But ultimately, I really, really love having, a lot of off days during that time. And here's why. I have little kids. They range in ages from now 7 to 13. And I know that I only have a limited number of Christmas times with them before they're grown up and out of the house. And I want to fully enjoy that time. And so what that looks like for me is we bake nut rolls, we bake cookies, we make fudge, we watch Christmas movies and drink hot chocolate, and we do all of these things. And I really just don't worry about it. I tell myself, I understand that this may mean I gain a few pounds. And I'm okay with that. I really am. And I've accepted that consequence every year because I just said, it's up to me whether I maintain or whether I gain or whether I want to continue losing. And for me, I decided I would rather gain a few pounds and really enjoy this time as far as really be able to say, yeah, let's make that, let's watch this, let's do this, as opposed to, well, right now I'm fasting, so I can't do that. I was not willing to make that deal with myself. And so, I want to keep the difficulty level as low as possible during the holiday seasons because look, first of all, it's a very emotional time for a lot of people. A lot of times we miss people that have passed on and things like that. Plus, there's lots of parties and there can be a lot of rushing around too. So just trying to make it as easy as possible on myself has always been my, kind of my rule of thumb. Ultimately, if you've found the plan that works for you, no matter what that is, at one point I had found okay, as long as I, eat, do intermittent fasting or eat one meal a day or whatever and walk 6 miles a day, I'm going to be able to lose weight. And, and I knew how quickly I could lose weight or really how slowly I would normally lose weight. A pound a week was normal when I had the most to lose when I was in the obese category. And as I worked my way down to a normal weight, it was about a pound a week. And then once I got into the normal zone, though, I knew okay, it's about a third of a pound a week. Well, actually, I didn't know that as I was going through it. But, in hindsight, I can look back at those numbers and realize it was about a third of a pound a week. So I can do that math in my head and say, okay, let's say I gain 5 pounds, which usually is about 3 or so. But let's say I gain 5 pounds. Okay, so that means that if I gain 5 pounds in December, for me, that means it would probably take me about 15 weeks to get back down to the weight that I was before the holidays started. Now, that's worth it to me. It may not be worth it to you, but I would encourage you to just decide that for yourself. Sit down and think about the possible consequences for each thing. Now, I do continue to weigh every day. I mean, that's just a set rule for me. It's like flossing my teeth, brushing my teeth. I also weigh every single morning. And I record that and I keep track of my 7-day average. So, it's not so scary then because I know exactly what my weight is doing. And again, like I said, it's only a few pounds usually, and it's worth it to me. But one thing I have noticed, just to kind of encourage you a little bit, is a lot of times you can still continue to do that the intermittent fasting plan, whatever that happens to be. Even OMAD a lot of times works just fine when you're going through the holiday season because, a lot of times a party is in the evening. So, really it's no different than just having your one meal. It's just your one meal will be at the party. Or, or if you have a whole eating window, same thing. You may just say, okay, well, the party is this time during my window. And again, you're not really having to change anything around. I hope that this episode will give you just a little bit of peace around the holidays. For me personally, too, I really try as best as I possibly can to make the holidays a time of relaxation and enjoyment. We stop doing a lot of things that we used to do during the holidays. We really cut back on the amount of gifts we buy our kids. We do a very limited kind of gift giving, and we try to instead focusing on really spending time with our kids and just enjoying that family time and being grateful for what we have and doing things with them as opposed to just buying things, which has made our lives a lot less stressful too. So I would encourage you to just as we enter into this season, just to really try to plan ahead a little bit and be intentional with whatever it is you decide to do. And remember, nobody else is in control of this. You're in control of it. And you don't have to share with people what you're doing or what you're not doing. There's no pressure there. Just figure out what you want to do, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and then approach the holidays that way. Thank you for joining me in today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Do you want to lose the weight without getting rid of the foods you love and that you know you'll go back to eating again anyway? My book, The Laid Back Guide to Intermittent Fasting, teaches you how to practice intermittent fasting so that you lose the weight sustainably and keep it off for good. You can get the audiobook read by me for free when you sign up for your 30-day trial of Audible. The link is in the show notes. And if you've gotten value from this podcast and you'd like to let other people know about it, it would be great if you could leave a review on either iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Thanks.